Ahoy, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another diecast review. And this is of one of the better looking 2011 diecasts that we got. This is of Helio Castroneves' 2011 Shell Vpower Team Penske IndyCar, obviously made by Greenlight in 1 to 18 scale. Now, I did have this car before, and unfortunately, it didn't survive. Now, for those of you that have been following me for quite some time, you'll know exactly what I mean. For those of you that are new, let me show you what it ended up being. It ended up like that. Now, if you're wondering how, take a look at this clip. So, yeah, that happened. Now, there is a full 25-minute further video that I've compiled of all the other diecast destruction videos, all compiled into one massive video. If you would like to ever see that, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll upload it. But this is all that's left of it. So after a couple of years, I started to regret destroying that car because this is genuinely a good looking car. And finally, I was able to get one. Now, unfortunately, it was a pain in the ball sack to get this one because it was off of eBay and shipped from Canada. And it was delivered to the wrong address. And it took 2 days to track this thing down and get it delivered. And when I did, the seller that I got it from actually did not package it very well, and the engine cover was loose in the packaging, causing some paint damage, as you can see, like right up here, and yeah, right here as well. So this car's not in 100% perfect shape, but I am glad to have it back in the collection. And also, before I dive into the review, if you're wondering, does this car look absolutely familiar to something as a present time? Yes, it does. It's not exact, of course, but it's similar. It's similar. Which is one of the reasons that I really wanted this thing again, was because of the similarities. Like I said, it's not exact. There's quite a few differences, but overall, though, the similarities are there. But that's beside the point. Scott McLaughlin does not get the showcase here. Helio Castroneves does, which has been concerning because he's been getting it quite a bit more in my videos. And I don't even like Helio. So, I don't know. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the review. So here on the front wing, it's a pretty bland front wing. We do have the two pinstripes at the bottom. Up here, going up the nose, we have the Izod IndyCar Series, Bosch, Team Penske Truck Rental, Honda, because everything was Honda back then. The number 3, Pennzoil and Shell, but the Shell logo is actually kind of offset to the left a little bit, which is a little bit weird. And here we can see Helio Castroneves sitting in his chariot with a very corporate helmet scheme. Castroneves, and there you can see some of the damage. One of the mirrors was also popped off, but that's a pretty easy fix. And then PTC on top of the mirrors. Mazak here on the front wing end plate. Firestone on the top of the side pod. And then Shell Vpower. Another thing that was damaged in transit was these little arrow pieces right here. You can see the little support strut is missing, and this guy here is loose. I would have to get one. Up here, the Izod IndyCar Series, Honda, Shell, Ultra, and then Verizon, because this was, of course, during Will Power's tenure with, well, blah, blah, blah. This was at the very beginning of Will Power's tenure at Team Penske, and this is the old Verizon logo. Take you back a little bit. On the rear wing, you can see all of the various adjustment points and all that fun stuff with the number 3. On the top, we got Shell, or not Shell, but Pennzoil Ultra. And then you can see your fuel cap, or your fuel buckeye there, which can kind of press down. Of course, the engine cover can open on this, and you can see your Honda Indy V8. It doesn't have the gold chrome on it. like the Indy 500 winners eventually did, but you can see there, and then you can also see your suspension, push rods, and all that fun stuff leading back to your gearbox and your main half shafts. Why can't we get that detail back? Firestone Firehawks on it, of course, but these are not the Indy 500 Firehawks because this was not an Indy 500 only scheme. It did run a couple other times. The most notable time was when Tony Kanaan ramped up and over Helio. That was a fun time. Well, it wasn't for Tony Kanaan or Helio, but for the fans, I'm sure it was fun. On this side, again, as per usual, pretty much the same. This one does not feature chrome suspension on it, which I would have to look and see if it would be accurate. I could have swore that this thing had, or the real car had chrome suspension, but I might be mistaken. There was one other thing. Oh yeah, right here actually. If you look at the Shell logo pretty close, the decals don't line up exactly perfectly. It's a little bit weird, but where this crease between the underfloor and the side pod are, the Shell logo is a little bit misaligned and it looks a little bit wonky. It's more noticeable in person, and it does depend on what angle you do look at it, but that is an obvious thing to me. Right from this angle, it actually looks pretty spot on, but if you start looking like elsewhere, like right there, for instance, it does look wonky. I mean, considering the location, the fact that the decal is split, I mean, I wouldn't expect it to be exactly perfect, so I'm not going to, like, take anything away from this car necessarily because of that, but I just wanted to kind of point that out, that that is a thing. And of course, we don't have that issue on this side because the decal doesn't go over on the side. But yeah, snap-on Firestone on the two little pieces there, and yes, your mirrors do have, let me correct this, your mirrors do have a little bit of reflective surface to it, which, I mean, some I don't point out much, but yeah, they do have the reflective surface, and they still have it still, which is, I guess it's a random thing to give green light points on, but I'm going to do it on this one. But yeah, so this car was really at a weird time for Team Penske. Helio was just 2 years off of his third Indy 500 win, debatably. I had to point that in there. His debatably third win of his career at Indianapolis. And obviously Marlboro had disappeared. We had 2010 where it was very generic Team Penske liveries for at least Helio and Briscoe. Of course, Will Power had proper sponsorship. And now we were actually seeing Team Penske come up with new sponsors like the Shell Vpower. Of course, they were a Mobile One team for quite a long time. And then also Izod on the number 6 car. So, you know, this was kind of the end of the era of the twin number 3 and number 6. And it was pretty much at the end of the lifetime for the number 6 car, too, because the 6 would become the number 2 car eventually. But yeah, very, very cool car. I'm glad to have it back in the collection. Like I said, there are similarities between it and the new Shell V-Power Nitro Plus car that Helio contests. Well, not really Helio, actually, to be honest. That Newgarden and now Scott McLaughlin raced. There's some similarities in the livery, which kind of was a drawing point for me to get it. Because I do like twin cars, and I do like, you know, kind of callback liveries. Not really proper throwback, but like where you can kind of point at it and go, hey, I remember when that car raced in 2011, or a car similar to it raced in 2011. You know, good memories of a time gone by, and when the cars sounded a whole fuck ton better than they do now. But anyways, that's really it for this review. The next review going up should either be the Alex Palou first win, the Barber car, or it should be the Helio Castroneves Indy 500 winner. And then kind of once that's done, I will do a collection update for y'all. Because I know there's still quite a bit of interest in my collection update for last year, and the collection obviously has grown and changed quite a bit. And then also I've done some things to kind of improve displayability. So, and I've actually added, last year I had 3 shelves, this year I have 5. So that's going to be fun to go over the 2 new shelves worth of cars. And yeah, look for that video after the Helio winner, because that's kind of the one that I've been holding up for. But yeah, so definitely keep an eye out for that. And then I'll take a little bit of a hiatus until the 2022 cars start coming in. The one that I'm most excited for is obviously the Scott Dixon car on the road course kit, but I digress. I'm just rumbling at this point. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, guys, hit the whatever button you choose, because I don't give a damn. And yeah, have a good one, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.